Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really cracking open the playbook used by the top 1%. We're looking at strategies that, well, turn vague goals into actual concrete outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
We've got sources here detailing the philosophy of an expert who co-founded count 'em, two nine-figure businesses and, get this, also helped over 15,000 business owners scale up.
Yeah, and our mission today really is to lay out that playbook, the one that separates the top 1% from the 99% who often feel like they're just spinning their wheels.
Right.
And it all boils down to like one fundamental question you have to ask yourself. Are the problems you're tackling every single day actually moving you towards your goal, towards increasing wealth, reaching your potential?
Because if not...
Exactly. If the answer is no, then all that tactical work, all the busyness, it's kind of irrelevant to the bigger picture.
And what's really compelling, I think, is that this isn't just theory. It came from, well, personal experience, right? The expert's own story. Going from being, and this is a quote, crippled with anxiety and fear to achieving this massive success. And that leap, it seems, came from adopting these really clear, structured ways of thinking, almost like operating systems for life.
That's a good way to put it. Systems simple enough for huge business decisions.
Yeah.
But also, like you said, deciding where to grab dinner.
Okay, let's jump right into that core mindset shift then.
Yeah.
The big one seems to be this idea of prioritizing being respected over being liked.
Absolutely critical.
That feels like a tough trade-off because, sometimes the right thing, the respectable thing, it's just not popular. It's unlikable.
Precisely. Look, likability. It's about pleasing people, right? It makes you dependent on what others think. Respect, though. Respect creates opportunity. And it's built on objective proof. To get that respect, that lasting kind, you need to get what we call stats.
Stats. Okay, that sounds, measurable. But how does that work for something less tangible, like leadership or even just personal respect?
So stats are basically quantifiable proof. Stuff that exists in the real world, the physical universe. You want respect as a leader. Okay, what's your team's retention rate? How much revenue did they generate?
Okay.
Want respect as a writer? How many pieces published? What's your readership size? Maybe paid subscribers? It's not about how confident you feel. It's about the results. Objective, external proof.
That's the only way it lasts.
That's the only way. And, we have to be real here. Respect is often compartmentalized. You might be incredibly respected in your business because you've got the stats there.
Right.
But maybe not so much in, say, fitness or managing your family life if you haven't put the work in there and gotten those stats.
That reframing is powerful. It grounds success in action, not just, wishing for it. Now, this next bit, I think this might challenge a few listeners. This philosophy basically dismisses the whole concept of burnout.
Yeah, it does. The argument is success takes sacrifice. It takes hard work. But that hard work itself shouldn't cause burnout.
Okay, unpack that. Because people do feel exhausted, overwhelmed.
Look, you hear, I'm burning out all the time. But let's be clear. You're not a candle. You can't actually burn out. Burnout, true burnout, happens when the work you're pouring yourself into, the sacrifices you're making, they're completely disconnected from the goal you actually want. There's a misalignment.
Okay, but what about genuine physical limits? Lack of sleep, constant high stress impacting your health, even if you love the work?
That's a fair point, a good distinction. If the hard work, the sacrifice, is directly leading to a goal you've clearly defined and truly desire, like training intensely for a marathon you want to run,
right,
then that fatigue, that effort, it feels necessary, feels motivating, not draining. The hard work is the path when the goal is clear.
So the burnout feeling comes when?
It comes when you're grinding away, feeling stressed, maybe working crazy hours, but your key metrics, like revenue or whatever your goal is, aren't moving. That's when the anxiety kicks in. It's the misalignment causing the burnout feeling, not just the volume of work.
Got it. And speaking of alignment and goals, the sources give a pretty blunt reality check on wealth creation, specifically passive income, the vice. Before you hit $1 million, basically forget about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Look, if you're earning a median wage, spending your precious time chasing, say, an 8% return on the small amount of capital, it's just not the best use of your time.
Why not? 8% is 8%.
If you have $50,000, 8% is $4,000 a year. Okay. That time, that energy is exponentially better spent learning high leverage skills. Things like sales, management, maybe a technical skill, things that can potentially 10x your income.
Going from 60K to 600K, for example.
Exactly. That's wealth creation. Passive income's vital later for wealth protection, for stability. But early on, it's not the engine for getting truly wealthy. Focus on boosting that active income first.
Okay, so we've got the mindset. Respect over liked, hard work on aligned goals. What's next? How do we actually implement this? It seems to start with controlling your time.
Your calendar. It's the
Yeah.
objective proof. It shows what you really value, not just what you say you value.
House.
Well, if you look at your schedule for the week, and there's literally zero time blocked out for revenue generation or prospecting or learning that new skill you need,
Uh-huh.
then you can't be shocked when your income goals don't materialize. You need to control your time to create more at-bats, more opportunities. And that means being ruthless about protecting those blocks dedicated to your actual goals.
And for listeners maybe struggling to define those goals clearly, the expert came up with the PPF goal setting methodology. This helps make it concrete, right? Takes it out of the clouds.
Yeah, PPF. Simple. Personal, professional, financial.
Okay.
The exercise is straightforward. Write down specific, measurable targets for each of those buckets. Do it for 1 year out, 3 years out, and 5 years out.
And starting with the 5-year goal is important, isn't it? How does that change the 1-year plan?
Massively. Let's say your 5-year financial goal is, I don't know, $5 million net worth.
Yeah.
And your 5-year professional goal is running a 50-person company.
Okay. Ambitious.
Right. Those big long-term targets immediately show you if your short-term actions are even remotely adequate. If your current 1-year goal is just save an extra $10,000, well, the math doesn't add up, does
I'm
it?
gonna go close.
The PPF forces that alignment. It shines a spotlight on where your current path falls short of that future you say you want.
So goals are set, time is managed. Then the focus shifts to communication. Our sources say it's maybe the most important tool, and for any critical conversation, there's the VCE framework: vision, commitment, execution.
Yes, and the common mistake, people jump straight to E, straight to execution.
Like, okay, team, we need a new marketing campaign. Let's hire a designer. Let's start writing copy.
Exactly. Without nailing down the V and the C first. And that just leads to confusion, wasted effort, people losing confidence.
Yeah.
It's chaos.
I get the structure, but isn't execution always the hard part? Is there a danger V and C just become corporate buzzwords? Fluff.
They become fluff if you don't get specific. Vision had to come first, and it must clearly lay out the why.
Okay, give an example.
We are launching this new Twitch channel because we need to capture the Gen Z audience before our competitors lock them down. Success here looks like increasing our market share by 15% within 2 years. See? That's the vision.
Right, the strategic reason.
If you skip that, 2 weeks later your team's buried in tactics, they've forgotten why they're working so hard, and they start drifting off course.
Okay, so vision sets the stage. What about commitment? How does that look in practice?
Commitment's crucial because it ensures everyone's aligned and has skin in the game. It's two-way. First, you state your commitment.
Like resources.
Yeah, I commit to allocating $20,000 for training and hiring the best video editor for this project. Then you ask for their commitment back.
Okay.
In return, I need you to commit to taking this project lead seriously, attending all the weekly reviews, and upholding our brand standards in everything you create. It confirms resources, but also resolve accountability.
Gotcha. So only then do you move to execution.
Only then. Now you detail the steps, the metrics, the timeline. Okay, execution. Our target is 10,000 subscribers in the next 8 weeks. Here are the first 3 steps.
This really connects back to something else in the sources, the need for high conviction language. Getting rid of wishy-washy phrases like I think or I feel in professional contexts.
Unless you genuinely are uncertain, yes. Using stronger terms like I believe or just stating the fact signals certainty. It signals authority. And in today's noisy world, that conviction cuts through.
Which is vital for tackling what the sources call a global wealth crisis. But it's framed more as a crisis of financial confusion.
Right. Wealth isn't magic. It doesn't just happen. It comes from hard work, yes, but hard work on the right problems. Problems where you can point and say, objectively, doing this specific thing led to this specific result, which loops right back to getting stats.
Getting stats. Always.
Okay, let's talk building the teams to execute all this. The expert has a really sharp 3-step process for hiring great people. It avoids just hiring based on, good vibes. Yeah, you need structure. Step 1, the cultural interview. You're testing if their goals align with the mission and the team. And the killer question is simple. What are your 5-year goals?
Why that question?
If they don't have any defined goals,
Yeah.
seriously, don't hire them. Someone without direction can actually be demoralizing to a high-performing, goal-oriented team.
Okay. Step 2.
Technical interview. And this is key. Get them close to the actual work immediately. Hiring a salesperson, Yeah. Have them do a mock sales call, or even a real one if possible. Hiring a content person. Give them a surprise, brief, short deadline. Assemble a presentation outline on X in the next hour.
So not a take-home project that takes days.
Absolutely not. If they need 2 days to think about it or research it, they don't have the immediate skill, the competence you need right now for that role. It should be fast, maybe a bit high pressure, and directly relevant.
And step 3.
The core values interview. But here's the twist. Don't just ask if they agree with your values. Make them provide concrete examples from their past experience, demonstrating how they've already lived those values. Proof, not promises.
That whole structure feels designed to fix that common problem founders hit, right?
Yeah.
Around the $1 million revenue mark, where they're scared to delegate because they can't find that magical unicorn employee.
Exactly. But the problem usually isn't a lack of talent out there. It's a lack of good training and documentation inside the company. The founder often hasn't clearly defined or documented what they do that works, so how can they delegate it effectively?
Which leads to the 4M model for scaling that delegation.
Yes. Model, mimic, master, multiply.
Okay, walk us through that. Let's use an example. Maybe setting up a standard but important marketing campaign that the founder usually handles.
Perfect. Let's say the founder has a killer email marketing process that brings in good money. First M model. The founder documents every single step of that successful process. The software, the segmentation rules, the subject line formulas that work, everything. Let's say that process generated $800 K last year. It's all written down or recorded.
Clear instructions.
Second M, mimic. The new marketing hire follows that documented process exactly. No improvisation yet. Just replicate the successful behavior.
Good M.
Master. The new hire proves they've got it by hitting the same kinds of results. Maybe maintaining that 25% open rate, hitting $50 a month in tracked revenue from those emails. They show competence through stats.
And finally.
For them, multiply. Once they've mastered it, demonstrated they can run the $800 K playbook, then they can either expand their role, innovate on the process, or even train 2 more people to run the same playbook, potentially tripling its output.
And getting someone through those stages, especially mimic to master, isn't just giving them a manual. It's that tell me, show me, let me, coach me approach.
Yes. We forget that adults still need proper instruction. You can't just assume someone will figure it out, especially complex processes. Structured coaching, feedback loops, that's what ensures they actually master the skill, not just stay stuck copying steps.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. Looking ahead to, say, 2025, if someone listening is thinking about starting a business, where's the maximum opportunity? Where's the growth?
Look for the great leveler opportunities. Right now, that's AI implementation, specifically for small, established, service-based businesses.
Like tradespeople.
Exactly. Think roofers, plumbers, HVAC companies. These are often high-revenue businesses, solid cash flow. They have budget for things that work, but technologically, they're often years behind.
So simple AI tools for them.
Simple stuff. AI for better scheduling, automated quoting, maybe smarter customer service chatbots. Huge potential for efficiency gains. That's transformative for them.
What else looks promising?
Hybrid wellness concepts are booming. Think integrating things like IV drips or specialized aesthetic injections into existing models like gyms or facial spas. People are prioritizing health differently post-COVID. And honestly, pet care. Always pet care. People consistently spend insane amounts of money on their pets, often more than on themselves or even their kids. Huge, resilient market.
Let's connect back to the personal side. All these frameworks, KPSF, VCE, 4M, they seem to require a lot of self-belief, real conviction. How did the expert, according to the sources, go from crippled with anxiety to that state?
It really boils down to one thing: acquiring stats. That confidence, that aura people talk about, it wasn't built on affirmations. It was built on getting verifiable proof, results that show they could achieve specific outcomes.
So the proof came first, then the confidence.
Absolutely. When you're insecure, your focus is all external. What do they think? When you have stats, objective proof of your competence, the fear of judgment just fades. Your focus shifts to the reality of what you can do.
So for someone listening right now who feels insecure, maybe stuck in decision paralysis, what's the actionable advice?
Stop spreading yourself thin. Pick that one thing. That one weird niche or skill you're genuinely interested in. Not 12 things, one.
And then?
Go all in. Discipline yourself. Become objectively good at it. Maybe even aim to be the best or close to it. Get those stats. And then use social media. Use whatever platform to get that competence, that proof out into the world. You need the external validation of results to quiet the internal doubt.
That focus is powerful. And speaking of focus, we need to touch on a major demographic and financial shift, the women's wealth transfer.
Yeah, this is enormous. Between now, roughly 2025 and 2030, the amount of wealth managed by women, particularly in the U.S., is set to explode, from around $10 trillion now to potentially $30 trillion.
Wow, why such a huge jump?
Largely due to demographics, women tend to live longer than men. So they end up inheriting assets, taking control of investment portfolios, businesses, family homes.
And this creates a need.
A massive, critical need for financial literacy and competence. The stats are concerning. Something like 70% of women report feeling overwhelmed by financial decisions, and many fire their financial advisor within a year of being widowed. There's a huge gap, a huge market for clear, high-conviction financial education tailored to empowering women to confidently manage these significant assets.
Okay, given all this, the rapid wealth transfer, the speed of tech change like AI, what's the single most important piece of financial wisdom someone needs right now?
Money matters. It just does. And because it matters, how you spend your time matters. Your time needs to be focused on acquiring skills that generate money. High-value skills.
Because saving alone isn't enough.
Look, you can budget and save your way to the bottom. Frugality has limits. The real abundance, the real path to wealth, lies in aggressively increasing your top-line income. Get skills the market pays a premium for.
Like using AI to learn.
Exactly. Want to boost your income by $100K? Use AI right now. Ask it to generate a personalized weekly learning syllabus based on your current skills and interests, targeting that next high-value skill. Then execute relentlessly.
So let's recap for everyone listening. We've dug into that crucial mindset shift, respect over being liked. We've talked about putting the PPF framework into action for clear goals, using VCE for communication that actually works, and the 4M model to scale yourself and your team.
Right. And if you're sitting there thinking, how do I protect myself? How do I thrive with all this change, especially AI? Well, some are calling this, supersonic tsunami of tech shifts.
Yeah.
The only real hedge, the only guaranteed protection is the meta skill. The skill of learning and adapting fast.
Yeah.
AI itself is part of the solution here. It's the greatest reference tool ever created. You can use it to learn almost anything faster than ever before. Your greatest strength, honestly, is knowing what you don't know and then having the drive to go learn it.
Okay, for our final provocative thought, let's tie learning back to confidence. We know about the studies, right? The confidence gap in job applications, men applying at maybe 60% qualified, women often waiting for 100%. If you recognize that hesitation in yourself, think about that future self you defined in your PPF goals. That 3-year or 5-year version of you who's, frankly, a badass, competent, influential.
Right.
The hack to getting the confidence to act now isn't just positive thinking. It's starting to collect the evidence. It's getting those stats. So the question for you is, what is one small, tiny, quantifiable stat you can achieve today? Something that proves, even just to yourself, that you're already becoming that future person. Start there. Get that first piece of proof. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.